Oh,
Happy birthday.
you really need your knee in the video. Look, here I go dictating again. We've got stuff in there.
Here you go dictated again.
That's the
Yeah,
spirit.
we can vlog it because it's not like private property, copyrighted, so you can just like put it in the video.
We can just laugh it. We can do a reacting to your old drama video.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that, that would be really fun.
Can I have your phone? So,
I can hold my phone actually.
I mean, for the notes.
I'm perfect. Yeah, I can read too. Hey guys.
Okay. You can start if you want.
How are you doing today? We're doing some nice things.
You might have to talk a bit louder throughout the video, you know.
No, I like when you put the sub.
I don't like doing that. It takes me too long.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
I don't like doing that.
Hi guys. So today I'm here with darling Luke, because today we're talking about, what are we talking about, babe?
Travel and accommodation.
Holidays and travelling and stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, I've had a few requests to make a video about how we afford to travel. Radley's about to knock over the studio lights.
It's alright, don't worry. Oh, penis.
Yay, Radley's got some advice on travelling. So yeah, basically, I've just gotten some questions asking about how we travel. I also kind of just felt like filming this video. I thought it would be a cool idea to share some trips of...
My balls hurt.
Basically, we're just going to do a video talking about lots of different travel aspects. So we're going to go through, I'll try and put like time cards and stuff in the comments or in the description, but I'm going to go through accommodation, flights, the fun stuff, so like activities and just the things you do, budget, and getting around. I've got like the main topics that I've got. So what bit?
Remember when you're buying an Airbnb to ask for a discount if you're a student?
Okay, maybe that can come later though. Okay, so yes, we're gonna start with accommodation. Basically, most of the time when we
if you're buying an Airbnb, remember to ask for a discount. If you're a student, oh wait, I got that in the wrong order. If you're a student and you're buying an Airbnb, remember to ask for a discount. So
when we go on holiday, do usually use Airbnb. This sounds like a sponsored video. It's not a sponsored video.
Hopefully it will be. Maybe they can buy our holiday. We're going to Pathos.
I don't think they're going to buy on holiday, you know. So yeah, most of the time when we're going on holiday, we've always booked through Airbnb, just because it tends to be a bit cheaper, and we kind of like the experience of Airbnb because it feels more like you're a local. I don't know, hotels that feel like a bit more restricting and it's more like a kind of touristy vibe, obviously. Whereas an Airbnb, you're usually surrounded by people who are just in the city. You feel a bit more like a local, you get more of like a true experience of the city. Recently, we found out with our latest holiday booking, I'd heard about this like a few months ago, but we'd never tried it ourselves. But what is it, Luke?
What?
For fuck's sake. You know, the student discount. Right, so we found...
I've got a blister on my toe, shut up. If you're a student, you can ask for a discount from Airbnb.
Yeah, so basically what Luke's saying is that you can contact the Airbnb host directly like we did. Our booking for Pathos was, it was over £400, I think. It was like...
Painful.
£420 around. I was like, oh hey, we're really interested in your house, but we're also students. Is it possible that you could give us a discount? And they were literally perfectly happy with it, and it came down to £350. That's like £70
it's also
we
the last
saved.
opportunity ever for us to do that. So
no, next year we can technically say we're students.
Sure.
Yeah. It's fine.
Well, they didn't ask for any proof.
They didn't ask for any proof. We can just scam Airbnb.
If you're vaguely young looking, you can get a discount by saying you're a student.
Okay, we're not telling people to go around scamming Airbnb. Don't do it if you're not a student. My next advice is for hotels. When you find a hotel that you think you would like, make sure you check TripAdvisor or Expedia. My reason for this is...
Or both. You could check both.
Or both. Well, yeah, I usually check
both.
both. So my reasoning for that is because a lot of the time the pictures you're seeing are like the kind of professional taken pictures by the hotels, and it'll be like when the hotel was first built, it'll be super shiny, nice pictures of the hotel. People on TripAdvisor do not play. They don't play at all. As well as obviously seeing reviews of the hotels, you can go on travelers photos, and that is where you see the tea. That's where you get all the tea for the hotel. You can see pictures of the bathrooms, the bedrooms, and I'm like very, 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 very particular about bathrooms. I don't want to see any mold. I don't want to see any dirty, gross corners, basically. That's what's really good about TripAdvisor, because obviously people, if they've gone and the hotel has like a gross, old, decrepit, moldy bathroom, then you can see that on TripAdvisor. So there have been loads of times where I've like seen hotels and I'll be like, oh, this hotel looks really nice, and you go on TripAdvisor and they're just hundreds and hundreds of like pictures of the bathroom looking gross and like people finding insects in their rooms and stuff. So yeah, always check TripAdvisor so that you can get accurate pictures from like travelers, and obviously read reviews as well. The next thing, a part of accommodation that I was going to mention is that we book the accommodation first, which a lot of people might be thinking, you know, oh, that's weird, like surely you'd book the flights first or whatever, because it's like, how are you going to get there?
Obviously you have to have somewhere to go first. It's the exact same thing if you book a flight to somewhere you don't have anywhere to stay. It's like, well, were you going to sleep on a park bench or something? Like, what are you going to do?
Sleeping on a park bench.
I guess that would be alright in Cyprus, because it's quite hot even at night, so you just be like sitting there kind of.
It's more like likely.
You should have done that. That would have saved us £420.
I mean, 50.
Yeah, because if you ask for a discount and you're a student.
Okay, look, we have a lot of sections to get through already on 12 minutes, you know.
Jesus, stop interrupting yourself.
Yeah, so basically we book accommodation first. I just think it's the best way to do it. Flights are going to constantly fluctuate. They fluctuate like day to day, hour to hour even. Whereas accommodation will get booked up and you don't really usually get accommodation opening up again. There are loads of airlines. You're always going to find some kind of flight. Whereas accommodation, if you find one you like and it's a decent price, then I always just book that. And then the flights, you know, you can just shop around for the flights.
Make sure you know your surroundings. Don't mind not being exactly in the hustle and bustle, as it can be cheaper going just a little further out.
Another tip for accommodation is to make sure... Luke, you can't do that. Is to make sure that you know your surroundings of wherever you're booking, be it a hotel or an Airbnb. You want to check how far you are from certain places, like the city centre of the place you're going, certain restaurants, like attractions you're going to visit, etc. So for us, we don't drive, so when we're going on holiday, we have to think about how close we are, particularly to public transport. Like we always make sure we're kind of near a metro or near a bus stop or whatever, or at least somewhere that's like walkable. A lot of people really like being like properly in the city centre. We kind of tend to book places that aren't super far from the city centre, but we don't mind not being like right in the middle of the hustle and bustle of as I've made a note of it. But yeah, I've also made a note that it can actually be nice being a little bit further away from the city centre, because you get a nicer experience of somewhere different. Like you kind of get the feeling of like coming home. In Madrid, we stayed in an area called La Latina, which wasn't like right in the middle, like in the central bit of Madrid. But La Latina actually ended up being a place that we really enjoyed. It had like really nice cool bars and restaurants and stuff, and it had better food for us because it was kind of like a young hip little part of the city, so there was like good like vegetarian and vegan food. Yeah, you do get like to experience like different parts of the city, different people in different parts and different vibes, so it can be nice not being like right, like maybe like 20 minutes from the city centre. Okay.
I have this image of us walking into the sunset in a boulevard.
That's not what I've written. Okay, so now we're going to move on to flights. I kind of obviously touched on it a bit earlier before, so obviously book in advance. Also, don't book too early is the guide, because sometimes flights are more expensive if you're booking like months in advance. I think it's usually, the guideline is usually somewhere between like 8 to 12 weeks is like usually the best time to book your flights, or like 6 to 12 weeks. As I was saying before, the price of flights do fluctuate. Give yourself a few weeks, like quite a few weeks, to kind of check the prices every day, every few days. For example, me and my family are going to Lecce this summer, which is like on the southeast coast of Italy. So the flights were looking quite expensive because we're flying over to Brindisi and it's not a massive airport. Flights only go there like 3 days a week, or is it 4 days a week? So it's not a very busy airport, and therefore like those airports tend to be more expensive. And I was looking like the flights were like £600 to £800, and we were like, shit, that's quite a lot for just like a 2-hour flight. So they were fluctuating around £600 to £800, and at some point it got to like £1,000, and then suddenly it dropped to like £350. Basically, just be on the ball. Give yourself a few weeks that you can dedicate to just checking flights, like every few days, you don't have to do it every single day, but every few days. A few tips are, check them at night. They do tend to be a bit cheaper, kind of if you're looking like after midnight, those like early hours of the morning. The prices tend to be cheaper when you're not flying on weekends.
You should fly on weekdays.
Yeah, basically you should fly on weekdays, but not Fridays really. Make sure, this is a key thing guys, make sure you are searching for your flights, to be honest, even hotels and stuff, in incognito mode or private browsing if you're on a PC.
Dress up in a disguise when you call people to ask.
Always dress up your laptop in a disguise when you're booking. It hides your history and like your cookies. If they're tracking your cookies, then they are going to be seeing that you're looking for flights and looking for accommodation. The prices can go up for them, so make sure you're always in private browsing so they're not tracking your activity and, you know, trying to scam you guys. Oh yes, also use Skyscanner. Skyscanner is the best in my personal opinion for booking flights. Basically any kind of price comparison thing. Skyscanner I love because you can do the full month view, so if you're very flexible and you can go kind of any time within a month, basically see the whole month view, you can see which days of the month are cheaper. I've got here, be flexible, like I said, with the whole month view, but just generally being flexible is going to obviously help you save money traveling, because if you can go at certain times where it's not, you know, a high period, so the most expensive
during the cold times.
It is the best to go during the cold times, that's true. But say you were going, like you needed to go in the summer, June tends to be the best time, because from July onwards, obviously it's like the summer holidays and stuff. August is always like the most expensive month. Even if you go in the beginning of July, it does tend to be a little cheaper. If you can be flexible, that's always going to save you some bucks. Also another point on Skyscanner is that they have this little like tool thing that you can use, and you can put in where you're flying from. I think, to be fair, this is only from the UK, from your departing city to the city that you're going to, and it shows you the last like 2 or 3 years worth of trends, like how the prices have fluctuated in the last 2 or 3 years. Do use with caution though, because like I said, for our Italy trip, I think it said the cheapest time to buy it was like 8 weeks, but then we randomly found those flights. We got super cheap tickets for £350, like I said, so in that case it would be better to just buy it, because realistically it probably won't be any cheaper than that. So if you did find like a very random like offer like that, like a blip in the algorithm, then you could do that, but you could use that guideline if you wanted to. I just wouldn't rely on it too much and just not check at all until 8 weeks, for example. Luke's just given up on this video already.
I haven't.
You're basically asleep.
I watch a bunch of travel vlogs before I go, just to see what it's like.
Don't say it like that.
Look at location tags. If you follow someone, maybe they're in the same city as you, what they did, where they ate, where they slept, which bed they used, what pillows they used, what sheets.
No, don't do that. That's called stalking. That would be weird. Right, so yeah, we're moving on to the fun stuff. This part is always my favourite part, because it's just basically researching all the fun stuff you get to do whilst you're on your holiday. TripAdvisor comes up again because I feel like it's the best place to find the fun things to do or to eat, or to basically see in the place that you're going. TripAdvisor always has lists, or like, you know, they order by reviews of the best things to see or the top things to see or do in, you know, and then you enter the city that you're going to. You can also do it for like the restaurants and the cafes as well, the top places to eat, the top places to get a coffee, top places to find a gelato. Literally you could just search it by anything and it just shows you the top rated. Maybe the top thing to do isn't actually something that I'm interested in, but I'll just look at the list and pick out the things that I feel like I'd be interested in, the restaurants I feel like I'd be interested in, cafes, etc, etc, and I kind of go through and like bookmark, or like I'll make a list of them. A key thing, bookmark them in like your Google Maps is very helpful, because you can use Google Maps offline. You see just the star on your map, even if it's offline you still see the star. And then
why wouldn't you just do all this stuff when you're there though? Obviously,
like, it's not like you have to plan everything to a T. Some part of the fun bit is just going out and finding things. You might want to have a bit of an idea. It depends on what kind of like traveller you are. I do like having a few things that I feel like, oh yeah, I'd definitely like to see those.
That's more like what kind of person you are. You kind of like everything planned out, everything in its place, and if it's out of its place you get stressed off and cry and shout at people.
Okay, let's not psychoanalyze me in this video. 2, this is also quite helpful. I was saying you can plan your days according to which things are close by / find a route so you aren't going back on yourself. Because if you've starred your things, starred the attractions or like the restaurants or cafes, whatever, on your Google Maps, you can see which ones are grouped, and then you're like, oh okay, we can do all of these in one day. But if you just had no idea where any of these things were, you might realise that actually we were literally 30 seconds away from this other place that you wanted to go to.
And it was crazy.
Especially if you're like in a city on on a time crunch and you only have 3 days, for example, to explore the city.
Yeah.
Next, use social media to your advantage to find things as well. I watch quite a lot of travel vlogs of the place that I'm going to before I go, just because number one, it's a bit of procrastination, you know what I'm saying? It kind of gets you like psyched up to go on the holiday and you're like, oh my god, like I'm gonna be there. But also it can actually be helpful in finding things to do. I found loads of places through vlogs where someone's gone to a nice cafe or whatever, or they've been to a nice attraction, might not come in your research specifically, and you found it through the vlog and you make a note of it, and then you can, you know, make sure you go to that place when you're there. Also, yeah, you can see hotels and accommodation that people stayed at as well. On Instagram, people will post the location tag if they're at a certain restaurant, staying at a certain place, or have gone to a certain place, and then that also helps you build up an idea of what kind of things you want to do as well. The good thing about Airbnb as well is that your host will often suggest places that are nice to go to, like especially restaurant wise, or like bars or cafes or whatever, or they might leave you a list of places to see as well, or like places to eat or whatever, which can be pretty helpful because maybe that's places more of like a local place. It's not really a tourist attraction, or not tourist attraction, but yeah, maybe it's like this quirky little local restaurant owned by like a family of 3, so it wouldn't really come up in your research as tourist places to eat. Most Airbnbs I think we've stayed at have done that, right? Like given us a list or like given us suggestions of where to eat, and yeah, they've usually been like not touristy places.
And if you're a student, you can ask for a discount.
Another thing to note with you know, finding things to do is check to see if certain things need to be booked in advance. So a lot of like museums, especially more kind of like famous museums, will often need to be booked in advance, and even if some of them you don't need to book in advance, almost always it will be cheaper to book it in advance, and you could save yourself, you know, money and also time. Like, do you remember when we went to the Vatican?
Or the Acropolis, we weren't students yet, so we didn't get the discount.
No, but we were students. We still had like IDs.
Oh yeah, those were the works.
Those were the works, but we didn't think,
we didn't
like, basically take your student ID on holiday with you, because
even if it's a sixth form ID.
Even if it's a sixth form or like a school ID, because yeah, we paid like fucking $40. We paid like €40 to see the Acropolis when it was literally, was it half? I think it was half price if you were a student, and we just didn't have our student IDs on us because we didn't think we'd need it. Also the Vatican, yeah, when we booked in advance for the Vatican, remember we got to skip that massive queue. There's so many people.
And it was hot, so you would have been complaining.
I would have been fucking complaining because it was like 40 degrees.
So.
Okay, thank you. So you made me walk around the Vatican for like 7 hours.
That's what you do.
I'm
when you make some sacrifices, you're going to a fucking Vatican, Catholic centre of the world or whatever, and you can't even imitate Christ for 7 hours. Just fucking sacrifice something.
You're not imitating Christ right now, you're swearing bare. Also, yeah, there may be time slots. Do you remember Pisa? We'd given ourselves about 2 hours to basically be in the Pisa bit with the Leaning Tower. And we found out we only went to Pisa for a day because we were staying in Florence, and we booked a train ticket. Like, we went in the morning, we were going to leave like kind of sometime in the evening, and we were like, okay, we need to go and see the Leaning Tower really quickly, and then we want to spend the day at the beach. But then we didn't realise that you needed to have a time slot, and basically our time slot was for like an hour later, and we were like, shit, that's gonna delay us. Like, we were only going into the tower at the time where we decided we were gonna leave. Hi guys, so bought our tickets and realised that we had a 2-hour wait. We're planning to go to the beach as well. Like, we thought we'd get here and be done by like midday. We got the tickets at 11:45, so we weren't going to be done by midday anyway, and then the guy was like, oh yeah, and the next slot is 1:45. So that set us back a bit. I mean, in the end it was fine because we didn't need that much time at, you know, the beach. But yeah, but then, if you were at a time limit...
We almost missed the train on the way back. That's what
oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, obviously I have remembered that before because we talked about this like 2 weeks ago, but just now I didn't remember it. But yeah, it did mean that we spent a bit too long at the beach and we almost missed our train. Budgeting, this is important. So I've got here, set a budget for the whole trip by dividing into a daily budget. That's basically how we tend to budget.
Some days you'll get ripped off, so some days you have to balance it out by having like quite a high budget.
Oh yeah.
Like having like lots of money, but also at the same time not that much. You don't get too spenny.
Basically, setting a daily budget is good because yeah, you're not gonna exactly stick to, if your daily budget was like €50, you're not gonna be able to, you know, you're not gonna be on the ball every day. But yeah, like Luke was saying, there might be some days where you spend less than €50, so that means next day you can spend more than €50. So just make sure you're kind of
get ripped off. You're never next day want to spend that much money.
Well, you might do. Like we've had times where we're like, oh, let's go to this really fancy restaurant and spend €80 on this one meal.
Just because it looks over a volcano.
Just because it looks over a vacation volcano and it's very pretty view. So just have an idea of a budget, but don't make it so that if you spend over your budget, you're literally fucked. So yeah, if you have a daily budget, it means that you can kind of have an idea. So if you're going for 10 days and your daily budget is £50, obviously maths, 500. Why do I keep trying to go to say dollars? I've been to America once. You know, have an idea of spending about 500 euros. Always make sure that you do have like another like means of money though. Like in worst case scenario that you get robbed or whatever, or you know, you overspend, then we usually have our bank cards that we can take money out of anyway. But yeah, I've just said it's hard to know how much you'll need for a whole trip. So daily budgeting is best. It might be hard to just be like, oh shit, how much money do I need for 2 weeks? But if you can think about in a day, you can kind of think, oh well, I'll spend around this much money on food, around this much money on like attractions or whatever. Then you can kind of get an idea of a daily budget and then multiply it by how many days. Oh yeah, I said I've kind of roughly worked this out sometimes by googling average daily budgets. I think it's The Lonely Planet is really helpful just generally. I'll probably talk about it later, but they do have like daily like estimate budgets. They have like I can't remember the categories, but like a spenny one, like a prestige one, and then like a mid-range one. They have a budget one, and then you can kind of see which one fits your kind of lifestyle, I guess. And obviously that is an average. People are going to have very varying amounts they spend on holiday, but you can kind of work it out depending on your individual tastes. Also, when you are obviously setting your budget, that's kind of an important time to think about currency exchange.
Just get Monzo's good.
Yeah, actually that is a good point though. So if you're going for quite a while, like you might not want to have cash on you, like
no, you don't want 1,000.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that anymore.
So basically it's probably better to have some kind of like travel card. So we were just saying about Monzo, because it's just easier and also safer than having like a big wad of cash on you. I think it's a good idea to have a bit of cash, like you never know. When we did have cash, we had the idea of like splitting it up, which is also a good idea. Like if you are going to have cash on you, don't have it all in one location. So me and Luke would like split it between us, and we'd leave some at like the hotel in like a safe place or like our Airbnb.
But then we'd like take a budget each, so €60 each. In case we got separated and we needed money to get back. Yeah. But then we just ended up spending both budgets.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were like
ran out of money.
I don't know why we thought we'd get separated enough that we'd need to spend a whole 2 days budget.
Sometimes like the cab driver will rip you off when you're asking him directions. You're desperate because you're scared. Because they take that opportunity sometimes.
But that never happened to us. We just spent it on like fucking gelato or whatever.
Yeah,
but you know,
because of this one.
That's not true. Can we go and get some gelato for the vlog? Oh my god, for the vlog! I never got gelato for the vlog, don't be dramatic. Guys, look at my interesting notes for this advice. I said, if you end up needing more money, which, I mean, depending on how good you are sticking to a budget, we always end up needing more money. But I said, try not to take it out from your card in bits. Just take the L and take out the amount you know you'll need realistically, because you'll get charged for taking out money in a foreign currency, and it's ridiculous to do it like 10 times. Our last section, getting around, well my last section, because you've barely even been in this video. Getting around, I talked about this before, but we personally prefer public transport. I just find it's cheaper. Fun. Yeah, obvious point, it's cheaper. A lot cheaper than travelling around with like taxis. But also I think it is fun to experience how public transport works in a different way.
Like they have totally different buses. They have like 6 wheels on them.
I like the feeling of like as if I'm living in the place that I'm going on holiday. Just feeling a bit more like a local. Yeah, remember to check for any like transport deals that you might not have back in your like country or city, so you might not know about it. So for example, there's the T10 in Barcelona. I don't know if it's just Metro. Yeah, 10 journeys on one ticket, instead of always buying like a return ticket every day or single journeys every day. If you find out that the city you're going to has some kind of like thing where you can get 10 journeys or like a weekly transport thing, might be cheaper. Do you remember when we went to Greece and we found out when we were leaving what we were talking about? Oh, the transport deals. All I had to say after talking about the transport deals and making sure that you're, you know, getting the tickets which have groups of journeys and stuff, and that is about taxis. I was saying we personally don't really like taxis to travel around that much.
Luke will hardly ever let us get a taxi.
That's true.
You're using this to bitch about me.
Yeah, I am. It's true, because
they're expensive as hell.
It's a fucking half-an-hour walk, or like a 45-minute walk. Half-an-hour walk is calm in normal weather. When it's fucking like 40 degrees, it's only gonna cost us like €5 or like €10, and I'm like, oh Luke, I'm so tired, I'm so hot. Can we please get a taxi? And Luke's like, no, like let's just not get a taxi. Like, oh my god, why don't you just want to walk? It's only like a half an hour. Oh my god. And it's not that I'm like lazy. It's just that it's fucking hot.
You just submit really easily.
No, I don't. I complain.
So that you can complain.
Yeah, but then Luke's like,
so that you can complain.
I don't submit. I'm like, oh, Luke, no.
You're like, what? And then you just follow me. And then like,
well, because it's not like you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, let's get the taxi though. Anytime I have like argued with you about it, you'll be like, oh no, there's no point. Blah, blah. Okay, now we're just arguing on this video. Basically, Luke doesn't let me get taxis.
I don't want to ever see you again. You're not taking me seriously. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah, I'm not taking you seriously. We're going to Paphos in September. You can't break up with me. You're going to Paphos in September. Yeah, you can't break up with me until September 11th.
What's happening? Like, you get like these things and you plan ahead and then we can't break up until then.
Next tip, make sure you book your holidays in advance so Bae can't break up with you for a few months. Bae can't break up with you if you've got a holiday booked. But yeah, with taxis, make sure you're haggling if you're like in a country where it's kind of a thing. With Morocco, like before we went, obviously from doing research and stuff, I found out that most people do haggle for taxis. Yeah, so basically for a journey that was about max 5 minutes, they wanted us to pay 100 dirham, which is around £10.
You know, the other taxis, sometimes they've got like big taxi and small taxi, and if you got a grand taxi,
oh my god, yeah,
double the price.
They only had grand taxis there and they still charged us double the amount, and this wasn't even 5 minutes, this was down the road. No, it was like a long like strip.
It was a straight line.
It was a straight line. The journey literally took about 30 seconds and he still charged us like double the amount, which double the already extortionate amount, by the way, because as a tourist you're never ever going to pay local price,
because he'd already doubled it. So
yeah, he'd already doubled it, so we were like, yo,
that was only a little way, so we got it down to like 30.
At the time we went anyway, like it was around a tenth of the price in like pounds, so like 30 dirham would be like around £3, because I remember 100 dirham was £10, which is actually really expensive for like a 5-minute journey in Morocco. That's expensive like here. We managed to get it down to 40, which shows you, you know, they're already 40 is already like ripping us off, by the way, because I looked it up and like locals will pay literally like 10 dirham or like 5 dirham, so locals pay like super cheap price. And to be fair, like if I'm going away as like a tourist, I don't mind.
Always free. It's a flat rate.
I don't mind paying like a little more. I do understand that a local is going to pay cheaper than me, but when they're trying to like make you pay like 10 times the amount, it's just not on. And you know, I'm African as well. Where's the African like?
No, they did not have that because they were Arabic. So.
Yeah, Arabic Africa is not the same. They did not respect me at all.
You should have been.
That's like another video. Wait, yeah. Oh, if we go to Ghana. Oh, like that's like north of Ghana. I don't know what it's called. Like I don't have any family from there or anything. What are they called? Alza for?
You don't know? Oh.
Alza.
Alza for.
Yeah. I was a region. Okay, that's a very random tangent. But yeah, now we're done. Luke barely contributed to this video.
I did most of the legwork.
Okay. Right, so those were all our tips for holidays. Basically organise booking the whole holiday. I feel like I've gone, you know, preliminary info to right in the holiday, so hopefully this has been helpful. I know summer's coming up and, you know, people might be booking holidays or looking to travel, that kind of thing, so I thought this would be a nice video to film. You got tiny little snippets of inspiration from Luke as well, so we hope you enjoyed this video and that you enjoyed it. Did I just say we hope you enjoyed this video? And I hope you enjoyed it.
You did not tell me about this problem, and furthermore, you did not talk to me about this problem.
Luke just quoting Ghanaian films. Look at you, all cultured and shit now. Luke watches Ghanaian films now and he's learning tree. But anyway, right, end the video before the camera cuts off. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let us know any more videos you'd like to see from us. Luke is in a filming mood at the moment. He's been doing some vlogs. Subscribe to my channel as well if you want to see more videos from me and, you know, also Luke sometimes.
I do all sorts in that video. I sing, I dance, I don't dance, but I walk.
Turn on your post notifications as well so you don't miss a video. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. And say bye.
I did.
But you just went.
I smiled.
Okay, you just went.